Superb inventions and technologies are the reason civilizations have been shaped and life on Earth has been revolutionized. There have been millions of inventions since the dawn of time. From the invention of the wheel to the development of the Mars rover, many of these inventions were truly groundbreaking, even if they were immediately apparent. And that's why we get to live the life that we live today. Obviously, all of the inventions played their role, but there have been some inventions that were more necessary than others. Hello guys and welcome back to Techmo. Today in this video, we will look at the top inventions that were needed to be invented. Make sure you stay tuned till the end of the video to know what these inventions are. Number 12, refrigerator. Refrigeration has provided us with techniques to preserve food, medicines, and other perishable items for the past 150 years. People used to freeze their meals with ice and snow before it was invented. The first successful vapor compression refrigeration system was constructed by James Harrison. The General Electric monitor-top refrigerator of 1927, on the other hand, was the first widely used refrigerator. While it first helped in the acceleration of industrial operations, it eventually grew into its own industry. Number 11. Compass. This modern invention could have started off as a spiritual endeavor. It was later modified for navigational purposes. Around 200 BC, the Chinese are thought to have invented the first compasses. Lodestone, a naturally occurring type of the mineral magnetite, was used in some of the sculptures. Other cultures may have also employed lodestone, according to evidence. People began suspending the lodestones so they could move freely, presumably around 1050 CE, and using them for navigation. An account of a magnetized needle and its usage by sailors appears in an European book written in 1190, indicating that the use of a needle as a compass was likely widespread at the time. Number 10. Nail. Without the invention of the simple nail, advanced human life would not have been feasible. They are one of the most reliable methods for determining the age of historic structures. Prior to the advent of nails, wood buildings were constructed by interlocking adjacent boards with rope. Nails have been around for thousands of years and were only made viable by the advent of metal casting and shaping procedures. Egypt has discovered bronze nails going back to roughly 3400 BC. Hand-wrought nails were the standard until the 1790s and early 1800s, according to the University of Vermont. Steel wire nails accounted for 90% of all nails produced in the United States by 1913. Number 9. Light bulb. The light we use in our homes and offices today is a result of a brilliant idea from almost 150 years ago. Humphrey Davy, who experimented with electricity and built an electric battery in the early 19th century, is credited with inventing electric lighting. He connected cables between his battery and a bit of carbon, which glowed and produced light. His invention was known as the electric arc lamp. Other inventors built light bulbs throughout the next 7 decades, but none of them were commercially viable. Thomas A. Edison improved a prior invention by employing metal filaments, and he filed patents for electric lights in 1878 and 1879 using various filament materials. After some research, he determined that a carbonized bamboo thread could persist for over 1200 hours. This breakthrough paved the way for commercially manufactured light bulbs, and Edison's Edison Electric Light Company began distributing its new product in 1880. Number 8. Transistor. In practically every modern electronic device, the transistor is a necessary component. Julius Lilienfeld patented a field effect transistor in 1926, but the device was never built. At Bell Laboratories in 1947, John Bardeen, Walter Brattain, and William Shockley created the first practical transistor device. The Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to the trio in 1956 for their invention. Transistors have subsequently become an essential component of the circuitry in a wide range of electronic products, including televisions, cell phones, and computers, and have had a significant impact on technology. Number 7. Antibiotics. Antibiotics have saved millions of lives by destroying germs and preventing their growth. In 1877, Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch were the first to describe the usage of antibiotics. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin, a mold-derived antibiotic, in 1928. Antibiotics spread rapidly throughout the 20th century and proved to be a huge living improvement, combating practically every known form of infection and protecting people's health. Before we move on to the next invention on our list, we would appreciate it if you give the video a thumbs up if you are enjoying it. Please also consider sharing and subscribing to the channel. That would be fantastic. Number 6. Railways. Railways can comfortably transport a huge number of passengers while simultaneously hauling massive items over great distances. While wagons have been transported on tracks or rails since the 50th century, contemporary train travel is just about 200 years old. Trevithick's locomotives, on the other hand, were too heavy for the cast iron plateway track in use at the time. Train networks became commercially viable in the 1820s. George Stephenson was hired as an engineer on the Stockton and the Darlington Railway in the northeast of England in 1821, and it opened in 1825 as the first public steam-powered railway. He created his famous steam engine, Rocket, in 1829, and the railway era began. Number 5. Airplane. Wilbur and Orville Wright achieved the first powered, sustained, and controlled flight in December 17, 1903. The Wright brothers became the first humans to achieve controlled power flight, despite the fact that flying machines had been dreamed up since Leonardo da Vinci's time, and perhaps much earlier, and thanks to the work of countless inventors over several centuries. The success of the team, which began with their work in gliders, laid the groundwork for modern aviation engineering by proving what was feasible. Number 4. Automobile. Although the invention of the modern car is widely credited to German inventor Karl Benz, who patented his Benz patent Motorwagen in 1886, automobiles had been in the works since Nicholas Joseph Cugnot constructed the first steam-powered automobile capable of human transportation in 1769. A large number of people have contributed to the development of the automobile and its component over the years. Henry Ford pioneered mass production processes that made automobiles affordable to the general public in the early 20th century. General Motors and Chrysler followed suit, making these approaches standard. The history of the automobile is truly a global phenomenon. The internal combustion engine and the accompanying systems that the automobile relies on needed the efforts of many people. There were also dozens of spin-off industries engaged, including oil and steel. Number 3. The Internet. The Internet, unlike the light bulb or the telephone, has no singular inventor. Rather, it has progressed over time. It began in the 1950s in the United States, coinciding with the invention of computers. With the construction of ARPANET, or the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, in the late 1960s, the first working prototype of the Internet was created. On January 1, 1983, ARPANET adopted the IP protocols, and researchers began to put together the network of networks that would eventually become the modern Internet. Number 2. Computer. The digital electronic machine is an essential part of human lives today. Today, computers are used to execute even the simplest calculation. Charles Babbage has established the groundwork for this incredible and dependable creation. The first mechanical computer was envisioned and invented by the father of the computer in the early 19th century. Despite the fact that there is no one inventor of the modern computer, Alan Turing proposed the principle in his famous 1936 work. Computers are now widely seen as a symbol of the modern world. Number 1. The wheel. The wheel is a unique engineering marvel and one of the most well-known inventions. This fundamental invention not only made travel easier, but it also served as the foundation for a plethora of other revolutionary innovations. The wheel, on the other hand, isn't that old. Around 3500 BC, the oldest known wheel was discovered in Mesopotamia. Humans had already begun to cast metal alloys, build canals and vessels, and even invent complicated musical instruments such as harps by that time. In actuality, the primary invention was the coupling of a wheel and a fixed axle, which allows the wheel to be coupled to a sturdy platform, rather than the wheel itself. which was likely conceived the first time someone observed a rock rolling along. The wheel's utility is severely limited without the fixed axle. Now, the list could go on and on about the inventions that were impactful on the human life. But that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more exciting content. Let us know your thoughts about these inventions in the comment section down below. And see you next time.